Welcome to The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal. I'm Ashley Russo. On this week's episode, an LGBT community center providing a vibrant, inclusive space to our region. Then, a health network enhancing the Easton community. And an international partnership working to preserve history. All that and more coming up on The Peak. Muhlenberg College's curriculum integrates the traditional liberal arts with selected pre-professional studies. Let's learn more.
Located in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Muhlenberg College greets its students and its faculty with bright red doors, which is a sign of welcome in the Lutheran faith. Muhlenberg's commitment to intellectual and personal growth dates all the way back to its founding in 1848. Frederick A. Muhlenberg, who became the college's first president in 1867, led the college with two purposes in mind: the education of the conscience and the cultivation of the heart. The college's name honors his great-grandfather, Henry Muhlenberg, founder of the Lutheran Church in America. Today, Muhlenberg educates a religiously diverse community and has been named one of America's top liberal arts colleges. The college is committed to providing an intellectually rigorous education within an inclusive and diverse campus. The curriculum integrates traditional liberal arts with selected pre-professional studies. The Muhlenberg experience is second to none. The faculty is passionate about teaching and values close relationships, while the student experience brings new opportunities for growth and fulfillment. Students can enjoy a world premiere show, attend a talk by a national leader, cheer in the stands for the Mules, or volunteer in the local community. At Muhlenberg College, you're sure to feel right at home. I'm Katie, and that was a peek at the Valley.
Academics, a beautiful campus, and an active student life. Muhlenberg really has it all. Up next, the Lehigh Valley's only LGBT community center.
The Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center is a beacon of hope for our community.
Provides arts, health, youth, and pride programs to celebrate and support our LGBTQ+ community throughout the Lehigh Valley to ensure that LGBTQ+ people in our region have the support that they need to live the lives that we all deserve.
We additionally annually organize Lehigh Valley Pride, which brings about 5,000 people to the valley to celebrate the community.
I've seen the Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Center grow from its emancipation, actually from when it was an idea, and seeing it form into this beacon of hope. I helped actually lift up the carpet off the floors we're standing on.
Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center only started in 2014, and today in 2021, we've come far. We bought a building thanks to the support of vibrant community that really came together, and it took a whole community to open a community center.
Our team here at the center, as well as our whole community, is on an ongoing journey about how to best represent and appreciate our culture at all these intersections of race, ethnicity, background, and class.
We were an advocate for health equity before COVID-19, and that will continue after COVID-19 because we want our community and our state to be ready for the next pandemic. We hosted vaccine clinics and vaccinated mostly LGBTQ people. And now as the pandemic is hopefully coming to a close, we're trying to ensure that as we reopen, we maintain opportunities for virtual participation for people with disabilities and for people who are not ready to come back in person just yet. Every community deserves a community center in the sense that we deserve a place to come together to celebrate who we are.
We do everything from getting information from the communities to let us know what they need or what would help them.
This puts LGBTQ people at the table, a part of the decision-making team when it comes to both identifying the health and social needs of our community, but also how do we address them. We offer arts, youth, health, supportive services, and training programs. I have to say the first program I fell in love with here was actually our youth program that serves LGBTQ youth.
It's called Project Silk, ranging from ages 14 to 21, dealing with all types of things as far as managing your health and advocating for yourself and learning how to grow and find out who you are and just accepting yourself for the wonderful individual you are.
My hopes for the future are that we live in a society where all LGBTQ people can thrive, and Bradbury-Sullivan Center, no matter where we are on the spectrum of equity in our society, will continue to fight for our community, will continue to provide programs, services, and advocacy for our community, will continue to be a space where our community can come together and truly be themselves.
Before my point in this career, that when you work in social justice, you often have to choose between the right now problems or building towards long-term solutions. And here at Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center, we're really doing both.
There are no limitations. Your limitations are only as far as you can reach. And then even then, sometimes, especially in a community, you lean on one another and you can reach a bit further.
Meeting needs that people are experiencing right here and right now. Whereas our research and our advocacy efforts are building towards these long-term solutions, chipping away at systems of disadvantage.
We will never stop fighting for LGBTQ people here in the Lehigh Valley.
Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center is such a critical resource for our community. Up next, top-notch healthcare close to home for Easton residents. Stay tuned. This is The Peak. St. Luke's Easton Campus is the newest hospital to join the St. Luke's University Health Network system. With this collaboration, Easton area residents will continue to receive compassionate and high-quality health care close to home.
We are about to begin an era of rebuilding, and there is so much in store for the St. Luke's Easton Campus. The future is just beginning.
We've had a lot of opportunities and we have a lot of access to care, but the patients in the Easton community have needed to travel either to our Anderson or to our Warren campuses, and hopefully by expanding services here, we'll bring the same level of high quality care closer to home for them.
We will be opening a 16-bed inpatient adolescent behavioral health unit. There will be an orthopedic center that is being built that will have 4 orthopedic surgeons working. We'll have a cardiovascular center with non-invasive cardiovascular testing.
The Easton campus, right now from a vascular surgery standpoint, we have an endovascular suite, which is otherwise known as interventional radiology, and we do also work in the operating rooms here that are being revitalized.
I would like people to know that Easton Campus is a full-service hospital that's here to serve the community. Our emergency department sees patients within 5 minutes of walking through the front door.
You will get that St. Luke's culture at Easton that you may have seen in the past.
I would encourage people to come to St. Luke's Easton Campus because of ease of access.
I'm excited about being in Easton, being ingrained into the community. Then you know the people that you're serving. I think everybody just has a better outcome from it.
I want the community to know and feel confident that the care that they would receive here is going to be the top level care that they would receive anywhere within the St. Luke's network, but just a lot closer to home.
Joining me now is Linda Grass. She is the president of the St. Luke's Easton Campus. Linda, we're so happy to have you here with us. Thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
You know, Easton Hospital joined the St. Luke's network about a year ago. Where was it then compared to where it is now? Much has changed in a year for all of us due to COVID-19, but you had this whole other thing going on. Help us understand how that transition went.
Well, the past year has been incredibly important at Easton Hospital, and we've come a long ways. It's the difference between prior to July 1st to now is just incredible. The hospital is in a growth mode, and at this point, we are positioning ourselves for a really, really important future.
What is it like to be part of a large network like St. Luke's, who has such a community feel? What sort of services have you been able to add and enhance by being a part of St. Luke's network?
Well, that's a really good question, because that was the issue at Easton before. We did not have a big network. Even though we were part of a big company, we did not have other member hospitals in the Lehigh Valley. So being part of a network, not just any network, but St. Luke's, where they really do embrace us as a new member and have really brought their culture into Easton Hospital. So it's great to have colleagues, it's great to have other programs and a very large group of physicians to pull from.
And despite being part of such a big network, it is always important to St. Luke's to keep that community feel, to serve the community they're in. So why was it important, you think, to keep this hospital open and to stay connected to the Easton community in this way?
Well, one of the things that I heard when I first got here about 2.5, 3 years ago was everyone that I talked to was either born here or had their children here or had family members that had heart care or their joints replaced. It was the hospital. It was the hospital where people came to. So it was so important that we kept it here. It's easy access, and to give the people of this community a place where they can come to and feel they're getting St. Luke's quality care.
What are some of the specific services you've been able to add or enhance that people might not know about that are now available at the St. Luke's Easton campus?
Well, we've been adding programs. On July 1st, we intentionally made the hospital smaller. We wanted to get a very, very solid platform that we could build from, and we did that. So we became a smaller hospital. And then after about 6 months, we started to add back programs that we had originally closed. And for a good example would be the operating rooms came back, and we are now functioning in our surgical services. And that was in January, it started. Our GI labs opened up in January, pulmonary functions lab, interventional radiology. So they're just really 4 of the key services that we reopened. And we also expanded our medical surgical capability from 20 beds, which originally was where we started, to 35 beds. So again, it's been a real story of stabilize and now grow.
It really is amazing to see in such a short period of time how far the campus has come. What do you want the community to know beyond the healthcare, what St. Luke's Easton campus intends to do for the community?
Well, St. Luke's Easton campus, what we are doing is we're offering St. Luke's quality care right here in the Easton community. And we will be a full service community hospital. We will be expanding our emergency services, offering medical diagnostic, cardiology, orthopedics, women's services, and also expanding our radiology services. So it's really the place where Easton community once knew as their hospital, and now we wanted again to be their top of mind hospital for healthcare right here in the Easton community.
You give us so much hope, Linda. It's wonderful to see how far you've come. We can't wait to see how far you go. It's a true blessing to our community, and in particular, the Easton community. Thank you for your leadership and for being part of the show today.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. You're watching The Peak. Our community is full of artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Let's hear from one of our own on why they love the Lehigh Valley. Hey everybody, welcome to Unscripted with Russo. I'm Ashley Russo, and I am here with Abby Silfies. She's the Executive Director of the American Heart Association here in the Lehigh Valley in Eastern PA. And Abby is a force. She is a force. We're so lucky to have her here doing this job in the Lehigh Valley. So Abby, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I kind of feel like I'm fangirling right now.
I feel the same way.
I'm like, I'm on it.
You know, I want to talk briefly about the Lehigh Valley because you mentioned this area, and tell people, what is it you love about the Lehigh Valley? And are there some things you like to do here that you would want to share with people?
So I love the Lehigh Valley because it feels like home, even if it's not your home. I, did not move to the Lehigh Valley until I was well into my 20s and already had 3 children and whatnot, but it has become my home. I love that there's something to do, whether it is Monday night or Saturday morning, there's always something to do in the Lehigh Valley. I love that even in a year of tragedy that we have just experienced, there was still such a strong sense of community. There was whether it be a virtual event or some sort of forum that you could sign on to digitally and be part of it, we do things right here when it comes to community. I love that I can tell you 12 restaurants that I personally know the owners at and would love to go support, and that we really know how to support one another. I think that's unique to us. I don't know that a lot of my colleagues that represent larger cities would be able to say the same thing about the people they get to work with.
I love that idea that we are a great community that is, we've got big city thinking and we have a lot of opportunity here, but we really are very neighborly. So that's how I describe when I moved here 16 years ago. I just kept saying to people in New York and New Jersey, it's really neighborly. And so, that was a kind of foreign concept. Everybody always brings a dish or brings a thing or drops off something, and it's so thoughtful. And then that extends, I think, into our nonprofit community, our professional communities. So I love that as well. Abby, thank you so much for being our guest. I love talking to you. You are incredibly inspiring, and the work you're doing in our community is so important. If you don't know Abby and you don't know the American Heart Association, please take the time to log onto their website, get to know them. You're missing out if you don't. So Abby, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Heart.org. Check us out.
Heart.org. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This is Unscripted with Russo. Until next time. For the full interview, visit youtube.com/thepeaktv. And don't forget to subscribe to Unscripted with Russo on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We know that historic Bethlehem is a special place, and now other countries are learning about it too. Let's take a look at what being named a World Heritage Site could do for our community.
We moved 2 years ago here to the Lehigh Valley. People in the Lehigh Valley are very, very down to earth, and it has made the transition for our twin daughters and my wife really easy. However, when you have moved around, I think you always have this desire to find new cultures and cultural history and heritage as well. And little did I know that when we moved here, that we're actually going to live in a future World Heritage Site.
It is just so amazing to think that historic Moravian Bethlehem may become a World Heritage Site in the not too distant future. Over the years, a number of sites have been added to what is now called the World Heritage List. The things that would be considered of outstanding universal value to all of humanity. That means something that was important to the whole world. The Great Wall of China, the Acropolis in Athens in Greece, and then here forming a heritage triangle in essence, when we become a World Heritage Site, would be the Statue of Liberty in New York and Independence Hall in Philadelphia.
Well, I think history is very important to the city of Bethlehem because of the Moravian community. We were founded by the Moravians in 1741. It's really part of our history. It's part of our culture. It's a very important fabric to the city of Bethlehem.
They were ingenious. We had the very first pumped municipal water system in the American colonies and what could be considered America's earliest industrial park, with 35 crafts, trades, and industries operating here by 1747. One of the earliest schools to educate women.
The area here and the site is really a center of culture and industry history, but it's also a place where different values have come together. Values about spirituality, starting there, but then also education, apprenticeship, equality. So it really goes beyond the history itself. I think it's really an example of great values.
In our effort to become a World Heritage Site, we are very pleased that we will be working in association with 2 other historic Moravian communities. Those are Herrenhut in Germany and Grace Hill in Northern Ireland. What we are trying to do is have an association of our 3 countries in order to submit something called a serial transnational nomination to the World Heritage List.
We're hoping to get that nomination, which would be great for Bethlehem. It would be great for the Lehigh Valley, the fact that we would become a World Heritage Site. And it would just be a great tribute for the city, but it really would be a great public relations tool for the city of Bethlehem to advertise that we are a World Heritage Site. Come to Bethlehem, there's a lot of history.
Having actually going through the process and then eventually becoming a World Heritage Site will truly help to put us in a new light on the map, and then just share with everybody how great it is to be here.
Our area is so rich with history, and it'll be great to be connected with other historical sites around the world. I'm Ashley Russo. Thanks for watching. To learn more about anything from today's show, go to our website, thepeaktv.com. And remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak.
There was beeping, but like...
Integrates the
treat trot.
That's like a tongue twister. Portions of this program were paid for by St. Luke's University Health Network. The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.
Like what you saw? Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss another video.
To see more of the Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.